Hello and welcome back to Coffee Chats with Chett. Today's post is all about the question, are you feeling stuck? Here are the red flags. So I recently had the opportunity of taking a course called How to Develop Executive Presence. And the professor behind that course, her name is Maja Djikic, and she is a personality psychologist. So to say the least, I was very, very impressed with the course, and mostly because of Djikic and the new thinking and philosophy and research that she's done in the field of helping people find their potential. And I remember quite distinctly, there was one point throughout the course where I was asking a question about how does this philosophy impact different types of personalities, to which she responded, you know what, I'm a personality psychologist who has come to believe that there is no such thing as personalities. To me, absolutely love when people disrupt current paradigms, especially when that paradigm disruptor is coming from someone who is a specialist and expert in the field in which they're disrupting. So of course, after I finished that course with Djikic, I had to go and purchase her book, The Possible Self, A Leader's Guide to Personal Development. And so I'm going to dedicate actually 3 posts to covering some of the material in this book, because I think that there are a lot of ahas in here for people and a lot of really great coaching questions for us to focus on in the next 3 weeks. So the first one here is dedicated to finding and understanding and developing that awareness as to whether or not you might be stuck in your life. And then we are going to build on that awareness over the next couple weeks so that I can hopefully help you, with the help of Djikic and a lot of her amazing research that she's done in this field, help you get out of that feeling of being stuck and back to creating some momentum in your life. Before I jump in though, I would be remiss if I didn't take a few seconds here to ask for one free request, and that is to please like, subscribe, and share this blog with someone that you think it might help. I'm on a mission to help growing human potential, and I believe that by working together, we can make it happen. So Djikic has created a new model to add to the field of learning and development and finding your potential. And it's really neat because essentially what she's done is create what she claims to be the wheel of self. And so in the middle of that wheel is your potential. And then she focuses on the 5 major components around an individual that are the biggest barriers for someone to work through around change. And so those 5 things are motivation, behavior, emotion, mind, and body. And one of the important distinctions with the wheel of self is that the wheel of self can be operating in a way in which you are developing and growing, or the wheel of self can be operating in a way where you are feeling stuck and stagnant. And so some of the feelings that arise when you are in a place of growing and developing would be your motivation is curious and inspired, your behaviors are around exploring and connecting, your emotions are hopeful and joy, your mind is creative and attentive, and your body is feeling energized and responsive. If your wheel of self is in the place of stagnation or stalled, the feelings around those 5 components would be your motivation is feeling like you have this deep desire, but you just don't know what is for, and you're kind of feeling hopelessness. Your behaviors are distraction and overdoing. Your emotions are anxiety and frustration, and your mind is ruminating and distracting, and your body is feeling drained and reactive. And so if you're watching this, of course, you are likely someone who has a desire to be in that developing wheel of self. And so what I'm hoping to help you with today is to bring some awareness as to whether or not you might be in the wheel of being stalled and feeling stagnant. And so let's jump into the 4 major red flags for you to be aware of to let you know whether or not you are currently in that stalled category that is taking you away from your development and ultimately taking you away from feeling that full fulfillment and reaching your full potential. So the first red flag is feeling behind schedule. So have you ever had that feeling where maybe you're comparing your life and what you've achieved so far to someone else, and seeing and feeling and thinking that maybe someone else who's the same age as you has achieved so much more, which is making you feel like you're behind schedule and is bringing up so many stories and feelings because of that? Or on the other side, maybe you see someone who is a little bit older than you and has just recently received the success that you're hoping to receive, and you get that glimmer of hope. This is one of the red flags to pay attention to. The second red flag is envy. Have you ever had that feeling of really wanting what someone else has, whether it be money, house, family, relationship, a cool car, or even harder to admit, there's a German word called Schadenfreude, which basically means having the pleasure or feeling the feelings of pleasure after discussing someone else's misfortune. If any of those resonate with something that you've experienced, again, another red flag to pay attention to. The third red flag is advice that never works. And so maybe there's something in your life that you've been struggling with for quite some time, and you've read books, you've watched YouTube videos, you've received great advice from your close friends and mentors, and whatever it happens to be, nothing seems to work or land or resonate, and nothing changes, and you're still in the same position. Again, another red flag to pay attention to. The fourth red flag is being immature. So reflect on a time where something happened, it triggered you, and boom, your younger adolescent self comes out, and you start acting in a way where maybe it's not the right level of maturity for your current age. We've all had those moments, and sometimes it might come up as an excuse around, hey, I was tired, or I was hangry, or exert excuse. That is another big red flag for you to pay attention to. With all of these red flags, when faced with courage and taken head on, really lies the path to our fulfillment, our potential, and our ongoing development at large. And so for you to get a lot of the next 3 blog posts, I really want to make sure that you have the right mindset to continue to explore this topic, because Djikic states, perception of permanent personality, unchanging stability in who we are can be a serious obstacle to development. Who we believe we are is often an enemy of who we want to become. So if you believe you can change, if you believe you can move on and continue to develop and reach your potential and your fulfillment, then pull out your writing tool of choice and let's get to work. All right, so your coaching question this week. So after listening to the 4 red flags that I just mentioned, I want you to reflect on those. And I want you to describe 3 different examples of how one of those red flags appeared in your life. So what was the flag? What happened in the situation? And when reflecting on the wheel of self, from a stalled perspective, what areas and corresponding feelings do they connect with? So this is your starting point, all about awareness. And next week, we'll dive into the techniques on how to help you work through those. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to Coffee Chats with Chett. As I mentioned earlier, I am on a mission to grow human potential because I believe that by doing so, we can continue to create a better world, one of which everyone belongs. And so I want to invite you to be on that journey with me. And also thank you for continuing to be on this journey with me. And please like, subscribe, and share this post with at least one friend that you think that it can help. See you next Monday.